Good morning everybody, this is Bernie from Tauranga Wellness Clinic Stamp and Eat, and I am with you on another Friday with a beautiful card that I have made. So today I am featuring this very simple card with the Bloom Where You Are Planted designer series paper. I'm also going to be using the contour, what are they called? Scolloped Contour dies with the frames, and it's actually a very simple card. If you can you have a look there? I've embossed it with white embossing powder with a sentiment from Heal Your Heart. It was a celebration stamp set from I think last celebration, but you can use any sentiment you want. There are even some beautiful ones on the planted where Bloom Where You're Planted. I'm just looking for them. Ah, there they are. I've tucked them away so well. You can even use some of the sentiments on the plentiful plants. You were there and I'm very grateful. There's another thank you. There are so many beautiful sentiments that you can love you so very much. Pick and choose. So I want to just show you how easy it is to make a beautiful elegant card like this. So this card is using basic white thick cardstock, and you're going to cut it at 11 inches by 4, scoring at 5.5, and I'll put my measurements up on the screen for you. And then you're going to take a second piece of basic white cardstock, and I've actually cut it to the identical side as the front, and I'm going to run it through. Now let me show you. I'm going to run it through my cut and emboss die. So I'm using the largest frame, and I'm going to place it over the top, and then I'm taking the second one, the third smallest or third biggest, whichever way you want to look at it, and I'm actually inserting it to create this frame. Now you can use washi tape, or you can use a post-it note, which is what I do, and you just take a piece of the post-it note, make sure you're adhering it onto the cardstock so that it stays, because you don't want that frame moving when you put it through your machine. So we'll do that. I think it's too wide for my mini, so we'll use the emboss and cut machine. Going to use plate number 1 and plate number 2, and we'll be using plates 3 as well. Mine look absolutely hammered, and this machine is not that old, so it just shows you how much die cutting I have done in the last couple of months since I've owned it. Just remember, when you are doing your sandwich, to rotate your top plate. I actually, and this one actually requires a lot of oomph to get it through, and there's a lot of crackling, and that's perfectly normal. It's a pretty good workout for your arms. Right, let's move that to the side, take that off, get rid of all the little bits. And what you'll have, if you've done it correctly, is you'll have a stunning frame. So just get rid of these little guys. So there you can see we've created a frame, and you're going to have the insert that you can keep for another project. Pop those away. It's a really versatile frame, this set, that one. I've been using it quite a lot for different projects. So that's, I was going to say, where's my cardstock? I haven't scored this one, so I'm just going to score that quickly. There we go. So I've scored that. Can you see that? I've scored that at the 5.5. Remember, the raised edge always goes inside. So that's going to fit on there when we are finished. However, we are not finished yet. So the next step we're going to do is, I've got a piece of plain vellum which will fit at the back of that. Now I have deliberately cut it bigger. Why, I don't know. I'm actually going to trim that down to, let's see, how much will I actually need. I don't know why I cut that bigger, to be honest. Let's have a look. I probably only need, how much did I cut it at? Oh, I cut it at 5.5, that's right. So let's go, I'll need 4.5 by 3.25. Right, I'm going to go and cut that. Okay, there we go. That's better. Now, when I made this card, I'm trying to think which way around I did it. I think I first put it on and then no, I don't think I did that. What we're going to do, no, I'm trying to think, how did I do this? I'm going to first emboss it and then we're going to adhere it. Yes, that's right, that's what I did, because it is slightly, you can't really see, maybe you can, it's slightly raised there. I am still trying to figure out how to not get it to raise with the adhesive strips. So if anybody's got any ideas for me on the heat of that, I would greatly appreciate that. I also, what am I going to do? Actually, I'm not going to use the Helio Heart. I'm going to use the, let's use this. I'm just going to say, love you. No, thank you. I'm going to use this thank you. That's a nice sentiment. If I can just find it. Thank you. Everybody loves a gorgeous thank you card, don't they? So pop that on there. Get my rubber mat. Oh my word, my desk is such a mess at the moment. I'm pretty much a neat person, but at the moment I have a lot of different projects going on and my desk looks a little bit messy. Just a little bit messy, which is not quite what I usually, it's not me, those that know me well. So Versamark, I'm putting the sentiment here in the corner. I'm just I'm hesitating. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the frame over where I want it. Can you see that on the camera? I hope so. And then I'm putting my stamp in its place. Otherwise, I was just thinking, how am I going to know that I'm not going to glue that on my frame after all the work I'm going to do now with it? So do that. Do that. And as you can see, you know, by doing this on a recording, very real, aren't we? Just keeping it real. Don't have all the answers. Figuring it out with you. So I put that through my white emboss powder. Now comes the trick of doing this and not letting that paper rise. So it's going to get a bit noisy. Hold down the, I want to keep the vellum flat because my last one went a bit bubbly. Well, not bubbly, it just got raised because of the heat. And I don't know if you watched my recording from last week when we did the other card. I was just saying, don't swing the heat tool around. Just keep it on the letters until you notice the change and that you know it's gone. Just going to hold that down there. Right. So that's done. Is it a bit better? I think so. It looks a bit better. Now that I've got my frame, I can glue it on, and I know that it's going to be done properly. So I have used, you probably can't see there, I have used adhesive strips once I've glued this down. So I'm going to glue that down. Oh, fingers and thumbs today. Probably because I designed this card yesterday and I haven't actually written it down as to how I do it, which is how I normally do my designs. I write the projects down beforehand, but then I realized yesterday, oh my word, it's Thursday, I'm filming today. Let's turn that around. Need to get this done. I kept thinking this week it was actually the day, you know, I kept thinking on Tuesday it was Wednesday, and then on Wednesday I thought it was Thursday, and so it's been a bit of a strange week where I've been not really on the day that it is, thinking that it's ahead of itself. So I'm just applying a bit of pressure on this area where I heat embossed it, because what I saw what happened was with the other card was it raised, so I'm just pushing my thumbs down on the vellum just to try and flatten it. So there we go. Now I'm going to be using some adhesive strips, and I've started using these recently. So foam adhesive strips, they look like this. There are a few packs of them, and they're teeny and they're very flexible, and what it does is it actually gives more of a 3D height to the project that you're working on than the dimensionals do. And they're also obviously great for shaker cards, if you're making shaker cards, because it keeps in whatever you're using as your shaker. So I've been using those a few lately, and you just cut it in the size you want, which is cool. See, like that. Turn the corner. Being quite clumsy about this, and snip it off. Now, being glue, I don't use my paper scissors on them because I don't want that sticky glue on my good quality paper scissors. And then you literally just peel off the pieces. Voila! And now, if I can find my card base, pop it on the front of your card base, like so. How easy is this? Now we're going to create the flower. So there we've got the beginning of it. Now we're going to create this. So what we're going to use there is the dies from the Plentiful Plants. I am going to be using the basket, and I'm going to be using the pot, and believe it or not, every single flower from there was fussy cut from the Designer Series paper. I used that flower, those leaves, and that leaf, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to fussy cut that, but before we do that, I'm just going to die cut my basket out of white cardstock, and I'm going to do the pot out of cinnamon cider. Right, so let me do those. So we'll do the basket like that. Just move it so that you can optimize your scraps. It's always good to have a few scraps lying around for these sort of projects where you just need a teeny tiny bit, and you don't want to cut up an entire A4 piece of cardstock. It's really helpful just to have a few scraps. So that scrap's finished. There we go. What I've noticed people doing is that they've been cutting it over there, and using it as a pot, which is brilliant. I haven't yet designed my own card to use it that way, but I plan on doing that. And then the cinnamon cider pot over there. There's so many ideas on Pinterest and YouTube. This idea is one I saw on Pinterest, which I've completely changed though. She had a different die set for the plants. She had a different die set for the frames. I've just used more of the stuff from the current catalogue. Okay, so we can take that away now. So with regards to the pot, I'm going to glue that behind, but before that I'm going, as I mentioned, I'm going to actually fussy cut the leaves out. So using my paper trim scissors, I need, how many of those did I have? One of those, I used 2 of those designs, and I used one of those. So let's cut out. Now you can also in this the die set also makes provision that you can actually die cut some of these leaves. That one fits into a die cut, into a die from the set. But for the purpose of this project, I need to fussy cut. And that's actually not a bad thing to fussy cut. I love it. Doesn't take that long. And then I need that one, so I just want to see if I can maximize. Yep, there's one over there. So you just try and maximize your paper that you're not wasting. And I think that's all. Set that to the side. So let me show you how easy this is to die cut. So I like to put my scissors right back, and I'm using my left hand to direct the paper. I also like to just cut a little bit of white space around the paper. Here and there I will go in and just trim it. Gosh, there have been a lot of emergency vehicles going out lately. Am I the only one that when you've got a loved one that's just left home and then you suddenly have emergency vehicles that I go, I hope everything's alright. Hubby's just left now for work, a little bit later than normal. Right, so with this one you want to try and get in as close into the middle of this as possible, because these are the leaves that are going to be hanging out the basket. This is such a beautiful sweet plant, bloom where you planted sweet. I mentioned it in my last video, but I absolutely fell in love with this set when I first saw it. Yeah, I might just trim back a little bit more of that negative space. Celebration is going to be coming very soon. The second one, there's some gorgeous papers and sets for free if you purchase over 100 New Zealand dollars. So looking forward to seeing. We're going to make some, yes, get some ideas from that. Here we go. See how easy this is? I find this so relaxing. There we go, almost there. There's that one, and this one's got the most detail we need to cut out, so just need to go patiently around these guys. Of course you can, you know, adapt this. You don't have to use this particular set. Just the idea behind the plant, and that is just so relaxing, and there's just something beautiful about a very simple card. So we've been on our new mattress now a week, and it's going well. Really enjoying the firmness of our mattress. Okay, looking good, looking good. So let's put this all together. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue at the back of the pot, not the pot, the back of the plant holder. Just I'm going to put a dot, if it'll come out. Just, this is very strong glue, so you don't need a huge amount, but I'm just literally putting it on the dots where the pot is going to connect with it. What's happened to my pot? Can anybody tell me where my pot has gone to? Ah, there it is. Right. So I'm using my silicone mat so that it doesn't get stuck on my white mat. Okay. So there we go. Now this little guy, I'm going to pop him at the back. I'm going to bring these leaves forward so that little guy is going to go through there, and I want to bring this leaf so that it's going in there. Oh, I know what I did. I separated, let me just check there. I feel like I separated something here. I think I cut in there and I cut in here. That makes sense, so that I can, so if you didn't see what I did there now, is I loosened some of these leaves so that I've got some flexibility. Yep, so that's going to come in like that. That little guy's going to hover at the back. And then this one, this light green one, I'm going to bring into the front. And I actually cut off this leaf. I only wanted two. So just trim it so that you don't see that stem poking out. This is like building puzzles. I'm glad I still do. I love building. So that one comes in there. Alright. And then this one tucks in. I actually cut off that stem as well. So let's build this puzzle. So pull them all out. Dab a little bit of glue on the base of that. Hold that down a little bit, wait for glue on the back of that one. Come on. Let's Remember, with this tombow you don't need a lot. Put it through the macrame hanging, hold it. This little guy I'm going to tuck in behind, so I'm just going to put that down so that my fingers don't get too sticky. Oh, wrong way around. The back of that. Tucking it in there, just to give the appearance that it comes from there. And this little guy I'm going to trim off the stem, and I'm going to glue it at the back. Come on. Over there. Now, there's our macrame. Now, I just want to tuck this leaf under. That's going to be tricky. I should have done that before. Actually, I might just leave that. Give it a bit of 3D-ness. I'm going to leave that. You can also move the paper to give it a bit of reality, you know, make it look more real. I like that. Let's see how we look on the card. That is pretty. Now, I had in my stash, because I don't like throwing stuff away, I had really, really old Stampin' Up neutral candy dots that I put onto the thing to make it look like a macrame. If you have anything like that at home, you can use that at this point, but I'm going to leave this one, and for the purpose of this video I'm actually just going to leave it, and I am going to adhere it. Now, I have glued this one because, am I going to glue it? Yeah, I think I'm going to glue it because there's what's that word? Adhesive strips on the back, so that's already got our 3D. And if you want to post a card, you don't also want to put too much height on it, otherwise you may struggle. Don't forget to, right, that's it, glue it there. Otherwise you may struggle to fit it in a regular envelope, and then you may need to pay extra postage wherever you are. So I'll move that into the camera so that you can see. I haven't glued that leaf. I haven't glued that leaf, nor have I glued the tassel. I want a little bit of, I want to give the idea of 3D. So seriously, that's the end of the card. So inside you can, I'm going to do a cinnamon cider matte, but that's the end of the card. I might actually add a little bit of bling onto this one. Let's have a look what will work. I'm thinking we've got the succulents, or should I use a darker green? Let's do this one, the Evening Evergreen in color Jewels. They are so pretty. Let's add a bit of bling to this one. Go 1, 2, and remember, always create like a, there we go. So we've got a thank you, and I've just popped on 3 spots. And there you have a gorgeous, simple, elegant card to give as a thank you gift to somebody, or a thank you card to somebody, and especially if they're a plant lover. So isn't that stunning? I love it. I hope you love it too. So this is Bernie from Stampin' Up. Feel free to go onto my website, tarangawellnessclinic.co.nz, Stampin' Up. I know it's a mouthful, I'm sorry. There are lots of projects there to make. And remember, if you don't necessarily have the stamp set that I am working with, you can always change it out like I often do. So work with what you have. And feel free to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. If this is the first time that you're watching this on my channel, thank you, and please just subscribe and share. It means a lot to me. And yeah, if I don't chat in the next few weeks, it's because I'm on a retreat next weekend, and I'll be back in a fortnight with another gorgeous card idea. In the meantime, until we meet again, don't forget, stamp, eat, sleep, and repeat. Bye!